my system real quick. Welcome everybody to Poplar Grove's September Community Council meeting. Daniel had to be out today, so I am covering for him. My name is Ricardo Mejias. I'm the vice president on our community board. Real quick, Daniel did bring some food, so if you guys are hungry, peckish, we got some empanadas over yonder, so please help yourself. There's also drinks. And yeah, we'll get this rolling. So yeah, we got the fire department. If there's any updates from the fire department, either online, if there's no one here. Pretty quiet. We can just skip them. And then police. I don't know if anybody from the police department is online.
Busy, everyone's very busy.
That is.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, and like we can always circle back if they show up later. And then any of our representatives, I highly doubt it, not to be that guy, but. Mayor's office.
So we do have a thing from the mayor's office right here.
I put those in our.
Is
slides.
Alicia gonna be here?
She said she was going to be, but I also put those in our slides, so it'll be in there.
We never know, right?
Okay,
Yeah.
She wants it back. Yeah.
okay, all right.
I think.
So,
This is all Alicia's stuff.
Yeah.
yeah,
That is
Oh,
hers
wait.
too. That's hers too.
That's Alicia too.
Yeah, she sent that to me, so it's just got the whole thing.
What are we doing?
let's get to the stuff that we have since none of the.
Does it look like Alejandro's here? Ali, are you online? Yes, not. Sorensen, anybody from Sorensen here?
Mm,
Whoa, the other side village, no.
I make a motion, we kill them, no.
Anybody here from NetherWorks? Okay, Salvation Army. Fisher Mansion,
I'm with a newer member of the Friends of Fisher Mansion, our Poplar Grove Community Council. It's always, for as long as I can remember. What do you think, Jason? It's been our primary focus on, for our public council. And the recent news from the Friends is that they contracted a contractor, or not a contractor, but a person to look at how much it would cost to do the whole stabilization of that mansion. You know, it's all brick and mortar. And so, does anybody here not know about Fisher Mansion on Third South and right there on the Jordan River, like a couple of feet from the
Second
river?
South.
Yeah, what did I say?
You said third, it's on second.
Oh, second, yeah, that's right, second south. So anyway, so they estimated the fix, since they had, we looked at the technology way back when we were trying to get that mansion fixed through the Center for Documentary Arts, but with Les Kellum. And he produced a really nice product out of that effort, but the estimate at that time, that was years ago, was 3 million. Well, the estimate for the fix for the mansion is gonna be 2.6 something million, but that does not include, right, electrical and plumbing, so that'll jack the price up a chunk. But that's still amazing. What they did is the technology saved us. They're gonna drill holes down through all the bricks, all the way down. And I'm not quite sure what they're filling them or, putting down there, but they wanna try to make the whole building, instead of making it float on rollers like they do with great big buildings, instead of doing that, they're just gonna make the whole building one tight unit, so it'll just go like this. That way you won't have the brick and mortar, we live on Jello down here, this is Jello down here, and so, we have to be afraid if we live in brick and mortar house.
So you're gonna repair it?
Huh?
You are gonna repair it?
Well, the Friends think so. So we're making progress on the thing and the mayor, Mayor Mendenhall is behind that and she's thrown some effort towards it too. And so as long as we get support from the top down, I think we can make some progress. It's been working at trying to save that thing for now years and years. And it's been through, at my last count, three or four earthquakes. A couple of significant, 7.0s or so that it's made it through. So the fact that it's still standing is incredible. And if anybody hasn't seen photographs of the inside and the woodwork in that mansion, oh my God, it is really nice. So they're gonna try to redo all of that woodwork and everything on the inside too. The intent of the whole mansion, at this point, and probably why, Mendenhall is behind it, is because they want to make it a public space. So it'll, downstairs, it'll be, probably, you can guess, there might be coffee available or, something like that. But upstairs will be, office spaces and little teeny rooms. They used it at one point to, for recovering addicts and alcoholics and whatnot. The church had it for a while. And then in 2006, it got picked up by the Salt Lake City. And so now they've been sitting on it for like, what? A long time. So now we're making progress. And so I'm excited.
It doesn't sound like nothing,
Oh, it's a teeny little rooms upstairs, really teeny little rooms, and there's hardly any opportunity
What are
there.
they going to do?
But we think that the public could benefit. I mean, and the reason I'm there is because I'm interested in nature, as most people who know me know. And so I'm trying to promote nature through the Fisher Mansion, because that was the original intent of the Center for Documentary Arts. And so anyway, thank you. Any more questions?
Yeah, what are they going to do? What are they going to do?
I tried to suggest, they don't know, they're gonna open it up to suggestions here really quick, and I'll bring that back here to you guys.
What about the brewery? They do a lot of work with it too, don't they?
I was there Sunday, I wasn't there Saturday, I had a beer, one beer. I was your one beer, okay.
All right. So for us, if you ever need to go read any of our notes, or any updates that we might provide for you guys from, our resources, you can just go to our community council page, which is poplargroveslc.org/input. You can also see basically all the projects that are happening, any updates that we might have on existing open items, open tickets. And then if you have any opinions, concerns about any of the current projects, you can also email info@poplargroveslc.org with any of your thoughts, like community suggestion box.
This is sorry, I'll come and talk about this because I left it in here. This is for that CIP that went through for the Jake Garnway like pocket park. So if you haven't taken the survey yet, it'll also be in the wrap-up email. And it's just a survey gathering information from the public about what we want to do with that space.
Right now, it's just kind of a parkish area with benches.
Yeah.
And they're looking for ideas to put in, playground, whatever. Anyway, if you have kids, it might be a really great opportunity to put in your 2 cents worth.
And then Karen, you want to give us an update on Groove in the Grove?
Groove in the Grove, Saturday. Please come. Should be fun, 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. And if anybody would like to come and help us set up and or take down, we'd certainly welcome the help. We, the council, are gonna be there at 8 a.m. And we'll be there till it takes to break down and do whatever. We'll have a bounce house, face painters, tacos, hot dogs, entertainers, and more.
It's really fun for those that haven't been to it yet. We do it every year, roughly the same time. It's basically like our block party. So if you've ever been to like the one on 9th and 9th or one on the avenues, same kind of energy.
Well, formally, it was the night out against crime, and we just said, screw that, we'll just give our own name.
And, the weather looks to be really nice that day, so,
For our sunscreen.
okay.
And these are where the empanadas are from,
Yeah,
the Daniel Watt. So we always, every meeting, try to support local business within our neighborhood. And so we, try to get something from like the bakeries or the shops. So tonight's we're doing Mestizo Coffee House. and they're empanadas. So like I said, please go help yourself. Hopefully there's plenty enough for everybody.
And this whole thing is in the evening. Daniel didn't say exactly what time, but it's sometime after Groove in the Grove, so you could do both if you wanted. Okay, does Danny, do you want to, you're on the West Side
Yeah,
Corridor.
well, Charlotte, Five Jespers, you know, editor for the Westview, Rag magazine, right? That we got quarterly, that thing's kind of going down the tube, but the West Side Coalition annually holds this forum, and y'all ought to come. There's gonna be a lot of tabling, meaning Poplar Grove will have a table there and we'll give information about what we do here, but there'll be tables representing all manner of Salt Lake City entities and other related nonprofits and all that. But then you get free food. And then we decided that we're gonna, instead of we don't have enough candidates to have a true, you know, forum. We're gonna have a small one, District 1, you know, whatever. But we're gonna have table discussions per table. So we'll have topics that people can choose from at a table, and then we'll discuss stuff amongst the table. Everybody will get a couple of minutes to talk or so. Does that make sense? And then at the end, we'll give our take on, you know, what people at the table thought about homeless people. I don't know, what about you? Thought about you, Brian?
Is
What?
that gonna be at the promontory building?
Yeah, it's the same. It's same as it always is, the big building. And so, you know, on that far, south end of or south side of the,
Southeast corner.
southeast corner, basically, of the, Fair Park. Anyway, it's gonna be a great event to come and connect with. I keep running into people there that I haven't seen for years on the west side. So it's like a reunion in a way. Okay, that's all I got.
Cool. Then we got, it looks like a city council meeting happening on the west side. You're good. It'll be at Torrance Unity Center on October 7th. I have gone to these religiously every year because I like to make a big stink about a lot of stuff.
Sure.
So I highly recommend, highly.
Sorry.
Yeah, that's Torrance on Tuesday, October 7th. There's a working session from 2 to 5:30, dinner from 5:30 to 7, and the formal meeting starts at 7. Usually, they'll always have like little note cards that you can like basically register to leave like a 2-minute comment. You gotta keep it tight. You gotta do 2 minutes exactly. They'll cut you off otherwise, but you can basically talk about whatever it is that you want.
Yeah, this at the fairgrounds last year, didn't they?
So
That was a different.
that's a different one. So because they basically try to go to every area to host a meeting, since normally they host them over at the city council building, the town hall. Downtown. So this is when they always come to the west side. Yeah, the mayor is usually there.
Yep.
Like all the police chief, like all the big wigs of Salt Lake City will be attending this meeting.
Yep.
So again, I really implore that if you guys have any complaints or anything that you want to discuss to sort of the city, this is the place to do it. And then we got Who Dash Fest, September 27th from 5 PM to 10 PM. Block party, like bands, DJs, prizes, art booths, beer garden. It's gonna be at 700 South, 400 West, and it's free to attend. I wish I could tell you more, but this is new to me. You know as much as I do.
That big giant is actually over there, in the middle of the train track. Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Then we got Haifa Fest, October 10th and the 11th at the Art Castle.
We'll have more information on that and put that out as we get it.
Yeah, as we get more information, we'll update it on our community page. If you're really interested in going.
This is me.
Oh, perfect. I was like,
Here.
and Caroline.
Hi, everyone. I'm Caroline McElby. I'm the Community Engagement Manager for the Clean Ports Program at the Utah Inland Port Authority. So I'm here to talk a little bit about the Clean Ports Program. We've got some community engagement opportunities coming up that I really want to get the word out about. So I'm going to tell you a little about the Clean Ports Program specifically, so you can go to the next slide. So this is basically a grant that was made available through the Inflation Reduction Act. So the state of Utah won this in late 2024. It was not canceled. It's
still going. And so the aim of the Clean Ports program is essentially to reduce air pollution emissions at ports, but importantly, it's not just ocean ports. Ports basically includes anywhere where cargo is moved between train and truck or truck and boat, et cetera. So here, the state of Utah, specifically the Utah Inland Port Authority and the Utah Division of Air Quality, won a grant basically to help reduce emissions at the Salt Lake City Intermodal Terminal. So you can go to the next slide. So the Salt Lake City Intermodal Terminal, probably a lot of you have heard of it. It's that sort of very narrow blue rectangle there, kind of southwest of the airport. It's a facility owned and managed by Union Pacific. That's what it looks like. It's a place where a rail line comes in, cargo is moved to truck. It's been there since 2008. And it is a emitter. It's a pretty significant source of air pollution because these trucks are powered by diesel fuel currently. So you can go to the next slide. So in this grant, basically there's two parts to it. So the Utah Inland Port Authority is leading a smaller part that involves more study and information gathering and community engagement. And then the Division of Air Quality is leading a bigger part that involves actually helping to replace this equipment at the terminal with electric equipment. So you can go to the next slide. Oh, and the grant periods were now, and they'll end respectively in January 2028 and January 2029. So just to get a little more into the Division of Air Quality activities, the bulk of the funds are basically to cover the cost of buying electric trucks and other equipment at this terminal. So to enable operators who are currently operating diesel trucks to basically replace their current diesel trucks with electric trucks. And then there's also funding for a small solar facility on the site, solar panels, and then also for charging for the trucks. That's the bulk of what they're doing. They also have some workforce training and other activities. And then if you go to the next slide, the Inland Port Authority, our activities much more have to do, as I mentioned, with the study. So one thing that we're doing on our side is a baseline emissions inventory to figure out how many emissions are coming from the terminal now and how many, will ideally be reduced through this program. And then we also have a workforce part. So we're going to be doing a study to understand as we switch towards these lower emission electric vehicles, how will that affect the existing workforce at the facility? And also, will it provide new workforce opportunities? And how can we connect those to communities? And then also there's the community engagement piece of it, which is we really want to have community input through this whole process and also be informing people about what we're doing in the project. So there's different community engagement activities we're doing. We will be tabling at the West Side Coalition on Tuesday, as well as at Groove in the Grove, I think. But if you go to the next slide, what I want to talk today about is one opportunity we have for folks who might want to get a little more involved, which is a steering committee. So this is a group of up to 20 people. There's going to be about 4 meetings a year for a 2-year period during the grant. This is going to be an opportunity to learn about air quality and electrification, learn about what we're doing in the grant, and then also provide your input and feedback. We're especially interested in community input on the workforce piece, on the community engagement piece, on other kinds of decisions that will come up, and also on where do we go beyond the grant to continue this work. So there is compensation that we have. So people who participate will receive $100 per meeting. That'll be in the form of a prepaid Visa gift card. There's also going to be childcare and like dinner at the meeting, so as well as translation services for folks who need it. And then next, you can click forward. So the application is open now. I have some flyers I can pass out. It closes November 28th. You do have to be a resident of one of Salt Lake City's 6 West Side neighborhoods, so Poplar Grove included. We do have a priority for folks with a household income less than 80% of the area median income. You don't need to provide any income documentation. It's all self-attestation. However, we are anticipating like anybody with any income can apply, and will likely be filling the committee with folks from different income brackets. So selection is just based on basically just filling out a couple of short questions in an application. form, so I'll hand out some flyers at the end. And then just, oh, and here's also a QR code, but I've got flyers with a QR code as well. And then if you just go forward one more slide. The one last thing I wanted to talk about, probably some of you have seen this, but right now we have, this is not part of the Clean Ports project, but the Inland Port Authority with the city of Salt Lake is doing some long-term planning for the Northwest Quadrant, which is the land west of the airport. So we're really looking for community feedback on this. I have flyers about this as well. This is a baseline survey to share your thoughts, concerns, hopes, for that development in that area. Any concerns, this is a great place to share them. I also want to flag, I'll share this with the Poplar Grove with you guys so you can sign it out, but we will also be having 2 open houses related to this baseline study that we're doing with the city. Those will be November 5, which is a Wednesday, I think from 4 to 6 p.m. at the, I don't remember, at the Northwest Community Center. And then we'll have one that Saturday, November 8th in the afternoon at the Day Riverside Library. I don't have a slide with that information, but I will send it to you guys once we have that flyer created. So I think that's everything for me. If people have questions, I'm happy to take them, and I will also pass out the flyers. Go for it.
You mentioned a couple studies and reports. Who's creating the studies? Are they open to the public after you, or the reports that you guys create? Is it URPA or is it the city or is it a combination?
Yes.
And where will it appear?
That's a great question. So I went pretty quickly through 2 different things, and there will be public reports associated with both of them. So the Clean Ports Project, which is an EPA funded project that the UIPA is doing with the Utah Division of Air Quality. There will be public reports coming out about that, just to describe what we did in the project, how many, electric vehicles were deployed at the terminal, et cetera. That is a longer term project because it will end for us in January of 2028 and for the Division of Air Quality in January 2029. So we're planning to have a couple open houses throughout the project period as well to continue to inform the community, but those published reports won't be available for a couple years since we're carrying out the project. This piece, the baseline survey, so this came out of the interlocal agreement between Salt Lake City and the Utah Inland Port Authority, basically trying to come to an agreement on how to move forward with that development in the Northwest Quadrant area. So currently, right now, the city, in combination with the Port Authority and a consultant, which is WSP, they have gathered a bunch of different information, including data on transportation, data on environmental health, and community data from this baseline survey that's being filled out now. And right now, basically, they're going to use that to develop a draft preferred scenario. So sort of like an ideal long-term plan for that area. Keeping in mind that, for example, the Port Authority doesn't have zoning authority over that area. So, there's limited actual power to carry out, a particular plan. But that ideal plan is what would be presented at that open house in early November. So there will be another opportunity for community members to provide input. Yeah.
What is WSP and who has authority over that?
So that's just like that's a consulting agency that brings in like engineering expertise. So that's basically that's somebody that the Port Authority hired essentially to help with that more like that engineering and planning expertise that was needed to take all of this feedback and turn it into a proposed plan. But they are very much in conversation with the city as well as with the Port Authority, as and they're taking direction from the city and the Port Authority.
And the Northwest Quadrant is who has authority over that?
So that's a complicated question because it's within the city. So the city has zoning authority. There's one small section in West Valley City as well as in Magna, but the majority is in the city of Salt Lake. This is probably getting, a little bit away from the Clean Ports Project, which is what I came to talk about, but essentially the Inland Port Authority is involved because they have what's called tax differential sort of authority in that area, which just means that a portion, after the project area was established, if businesses get built there, a portion of that tax, then the Port Authority, could help sort of direct the spending of that tax. So that's how the Port Authority is involved. They don't have zoning authority. They, besides a small parcel of land, they're not a landowner, but they're involved sort of as, an entity that can also think about sort of, planning in that area.
I just got a question. I know this is about one area, but how many, inland ports throughout Utah are they going forward?
Yeah, that's a great question. I believe the current number is around 14. Yeah, but these are not like, when you think of it's not really a port. It's just an area where a local community has said, you know, we want some kind of development in this area, but it doesn't look like, you know, in every place it looks different. It may be an agricultural group coming in, you know, it may be.
Still work in the sense of transporting goods.
But it's not a port. Well, yeah, they're not really.
Well, what my comment is.
Yeah, absolutely.
Is the majority of the public, when this first came out, did not want this plan for Utah.
Yeah.
The public was, especially on the west side, they had an advisory panel. The legislature and the Inland Port Authority dismissed that. So
Mhm.
they did not, and yet here now we want input from the public. But the public that is impacted by this does not want this. We don't have the infrastructure in place for it. And it looks like now they're working on the infrastructure. That should have been done before. This should have, before it began, if they were going to do this.
Mhm.
But, you know, I mean, that's a step in the right direction in the sense of at least making it cleaner, but we don't have the capacity in here in Utah to deal with this kind of
Mhm.
thing, but they're still going forward with it. We don't really have a say. That's what I just want you to know, is they'll go forward with your input. I don't know how valuable it will be, and that may be some negative, but I'm positive in the sense of that they're at least going to try to make it a little cleaner for, especially for the neighbors that deal with that are in those communities that are affected by the trucking.
Mhm.
What kind of, when you say trucks that are electric,
Mhm.
what kind of truck?
So there's a mix of trucks that are operating at this terminal, which has been around since 2008. So this is a pretty, you know, established facility. So there's class 5 to 8 trucks, which are sort of smaller trucks. There's class 5 to 7 trucks and then class 8 trucks. And so these are just trucks that transport goods. And then the other kind of equipment that's there is like forklifts and other kinds of equipment that would be moving sort of goods between a train and a truck or things like that.
Yeah, that shuffling stuff. right,
Mhm.
Within the port.
Exactly.
None of these are leaving.
Some of the trucks that would be eligible for these electrification incentives would, I believe, be trucks that are leaving the port as well. So those class 5 to 7 and class 8 trucks are more like just the trucks that you would see on the road.
Right, so those sort of trucks. Someone believes that that's gonna be able to go somewhere in distance on batteries, with a 45-foot trailer.
Yes, that is a technology that exists currently. Yeah.
Why aren't they exploring hydrogen?
Yeah, that's a great question. Hydrogen is another option that, you know, can work in certain contexts. I think it was decided for this grant that the sort of, I'm not exactly sure actually sort of what the calculus was there, but I think in general that the sort of electrification technology, it's a bit more commercialized when it comes to trucks. So it's sort of like when it comes to electric trucks. So when you're thinking about what's something that we can, you know, sort of implement right now, right away to reduce emissions, electrification is a really good option, but hydrogen is absolutely, I think,
There are already hydrogen semi trucks. People
Mhm.
fix them.
yeah.
So I just kind of, why are we stepping into something that exists that's actually not very effective in large loads? why wouldn't we move forward to something that definitely can take a payload like hydrogen?
Yeah, I mean, I think, these are great questions, and I think, if you're interested in being involved, these would be great things to talk about in the steering committee as well. Yeah, but thanks, yeah.
Sorry, I had a question and I forgot it.
No, Yeah.
Kind of remembered. So really quick. So the idea of the grant is to incentivize them to switch over.
yes,
So what if they're just like, no?
that is a really good question. Yeah, that's a really good question. So the idea of the grant, and I will say, we. Union Pacific had to sign on to the grant, so they are in these conversations, they. Absolutely know and, are supportive of the fact that we're carrying this out. The idea is basically to provide enough financial and other kinds of support that it really becomes quite feasible for at least a segment of the operators to switch over. So the financial support is in the form of paying for 75% of the cost of a new vehicle. Or if the operator is willing to scrap an existing vehicle, then that goes up to 90%. And then there's also all these other supports, including workforce training.
So we're giving support to like Union Pacific, like the.
So it's the vendors that operate there. So it's kind of,
I was like, I don't think they need monetary support to like
yeah.
shift their fleets up. I feel like at that point.
It's the subcontractors that operate there, yeah.
Okay, but a lot of those subcontractors, I mean, right, like, especially now in this economy, money's tight.
Mhm.
Like scrapping a vehicle to get 90% of it sort of removed so that you guys can like cover the costs are still gonna be down money. Like no one's gonna wanna like dip into margins to switch over.
I mean, yeah, these are really valid questions, and this is like part of the challenge that we all face in transitioning away from high emission vehicles. But again, I think these, are really important conversations that I hope will take place in the steering committee, as one venue. So if you're interested, like I would definitely encourage you to apply. Yeah.
Thanks a lot.
Yeah, thank you. Okay, awesome. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you. And Alicia showed up, so you're up. Come on down. And I die with my voice. You're a real one for showing up.
And what?
You're a real one for showing up.
What time was I scheduled to present?
Like 7:10.
7:34.
At 7:34?
Oh, perfect. Right on time.
Really? Not 7:10.
Yeah, whatever you want.
Good evening, folks. I am here at this time because I'm taking a class at the university this fall. And it's been a long day but I'm here. So thank you for allowing me to present at this time. So on behalf of the mayor's office, we'd like to remind you that we have a new information hub, engagement hub called Shape SLC. It's an online platform. It is not an app. You need to sign up. You can create an account for you to provide feedback, engage with the project that's being proposed in any area of the city. It is very easy to sign up. You can use your Google accounts up or like your Facebook account to sign in real quickly. And one project that's up now, which you can skip to the next slide, please, and thanks for helping with that, is the Climate Forward Plan. This one, Mayor Mendenhall and the city's sustainability department is launched the Climate Forward SLC. And it's a process to update the city's climate strategy. So this is expected to take 9 to 12 months. It will identify key priorities to help the city reach its 2040 community greenhouse gas reduction goal, reduce air pollution, and build more resilient neighborhoods. So I don't think there's a deadline for you to participate, but please, if you have the time, go to Shape SLC and and check that out. The next slide is on the budget that was passed for this year. Please check out the website that's down below. The funding allocations that were or that are reflect the priorities for city council and the mayor are affordable housing initiatives, transit enhancements, neighborhood cleanliness and safety, and infrastructure and capital improvement planning. Next slide, please. So the mayor allocates funding every year to support community events. These can be small, they can be large, local, and new or ongoing events. She allocated 300,000 this year for the community as well for community councils to apply. The applications open up in October for the entire month of October. Now, this application, because there's another grant that's coming up, this specific application, the ACE grant, ACE Arts, Culture, and Entertainment. When you apply, whatever you're requesting cannot be half of your budget, right? So say that your event costs 10,000 and if you ask for 5,000, it is less likely to be selected as one of the finalists for the mayor to approve, to be funded. So we would like to fund events that have other sponsorships and that is not dependent, solely or not solely, but predominantly on the mayor's ACE grant. So let's see, what else do you need to know about that? It'll come to me. Questions on that, the ACE grant? No? Okay, next slide, please. So CIP, so Capital Improvement Program, the council allocated 44.2 million. It's currently funding 32 city projects, and this is to invest on major infrastructure investments. And CIP applications need to have a life of 5 years or more, and the minimum of the project should be 50,000. Currently, the CIP application is open. It closes at the end of September. So if your neighborhood or anyone here in the group or community council is working on it, please remember that the application closes at the end of September.
So question.
Yeah.
Could that be used for like a cool peacock statue for a roundabout?
No.
That's what we're doing.
What do you mean, no? It says improving our city blocks, streets, buildings, and public art.
Well,
Public art, I believe, is a giant peacock statue that can go over.
public art, you know what? Okay, yes, it's fair.
Yeah, it's like how the whale got funded, right? Like, I want the whale up over here. I want a peacock.
We're putting in a CIP grant for permanent artwork in the roundabout.
God, yes, please, and please let it be a peacock.
Yes, yes, yes.
Fantastic. So
We need our street research that's on the best side. Priorities. Can we do priorities?
Well, that's separate.
Yeah, it's different.
Well, it's a
This is
street.
just like,
No,
well,
it's different.
This is like a beautiful, it's like the other grant, like 2 grants back from this one, the one before this one that can be put down for like street
Why don't
improvement.
you get a pickup and just take it home? They actually, we've seen them walk across Fourth South to that Catholic church.
They live right here.
Traffic
They're
stops.
everywhere.
They live right here.
They're
Yeah.
everywhere.
They stand at
Anyway.
Yeah, they stand at the bus stop. She could just take it home.
No, it's just so we can have something cool so that we can have people to come over and invest money here.
so
You gotta
there,
feed it, so.
so there are different priorities and interests, and they're all important, and it's good that there are different ways for the city to support those interests, right? And those priorities. So the project support grants. Those, so this is through the Arts Council, and this has a limit or an allocation of 2,000 to 4,000. So that's the cap, I believe. It's 4,000. Let's see. The applications open,
I think they're already open.
I think they are, right? Yeah, September, so, but they close in November. And projects will be our art-based projects that will be taking place next year between February and August. Whereas the ACE grant will support projects or community events, not projects, that will take place at the last minute, as in like the New Year's Eve event. So it's year round. But this one, you have to, your arts-based project needs to take place between February and August. There's something else that I looked up. Let me see.
So this is one where we could put a mural on the precinct.
Yes,
Yes, correct. As long as you stay below 4,000.
let's see. So community councils can also apply to this.
I think it's $2,000 for community councils.
For this one?
That was my understanding.
All right, well, the website is there. When you have the time, please look further into it if you'd like to apply. And the last slide is just my contact information.
What about all this?
That's not it. No, that's not me.
Contact information. This is what you sent me, so I put it in.
This
Really?
must have been from last time.
Go ahead and scroll to where her contact information is.
I will be at the Groove in the Grove Festival this Saturday. So if you'd like to stop by and provide your feedback, information, questions, complaints, I will be there. Yeah, I will be there. I'm sorry, I have two events that day. Groove in the Grove in the morning, and then I have to go to Marmalade from like 1 to 8. But I'll be there. You guys start at 9?
11.
11,
You start at 11.
So you're going to the,
11 to 3.
Yes, until 3?
Mhm.
Okay, then I might have to adjust.
So what's the event in Marmalade?
it's the Jam Fest.
Jam Fest.
Marmalade Jam Fest. They are operating from 10 in the morning to 10 PM. I won't be there the entire time, so. Okay, so you guys are operating until 3, right? I'll probably be there from 11 to 2 then. I'll just have to adjust partnerships, because, yeah.
Okay.
Okay, I wanted to respond about streets. That streets on the west side need to be repaired, totally agree. Next month, I'll bring a report that was conducted through the city maybe 2-3 years ago before I came on board. And they surveyed the entire city and prioritized based on the use, but also the wear and tear of streets to address the streets based on high to medium to low priority. So I know that funding and efforts and focus will be throughout the city. It's just when I bring that report to you all next month, I will make sure that I highlight Glendale or Poplar, well,
Poplar.
all the west side, right? But mostly Poplar Grove.
Mhm.
So you see where this area is in the I guess in the process of streets being taken care of and how much funding is being allocated.
It looks like an outfit.
Yeah, I've seen them for sure. I know.
Jack holes and-
Yeah. So it's good that you bring that up because it's an important report. It's pretty hefty in terms of information. So I can give you just like the highlights of the report, but then you can have access to that report so you can sift through it as many times as you'd like. Anything else? Yes.
8th south, if you go east, is being repaved around 3rd west and further east. But at this point, I don't know if they're gonna do another layer. But at this point, doesn't look like a really great paving job.
Okay.
Very, so my question is, I can go call the streets department and ask them where they're at on that project. and see,
Okay.
But my concern is,
Uh-huh.
if that's it, if that's the way it's gonna be.
Yeah.
Then we don't want them to pave, we don't want them to pave our city streets anymore.
800
We want
South.
somebody else to do it.
Another
Yeah,
contractor.
Yeah, because like 21st South turned out really well. It
Yeah.
looked nice from 9th West going east. That was really a great job.
Yeah.
And, like I said, there may be a whole nother layer of asphalt to finish.
Yeah.
So it may not be done. I don't know where it's at in the project, but I'm afraid that it's not gonna be all that great.
Yeah.
So 800 South
Okay.
between 3rd west. And I think it's going east. From there.
Okay, so thank you for bringing that up because I need to bring with me, I'm realizing that I need to bring certain topics, like notes from certain major topics like streets or what else would it be?
Right.
Well, that's not my area, but maybe I could. Actually, I could because part of the,
This is what we're
Yeah.
experiencing.
Yeah.
Officer Oliver is not volunteer. Alejandro did follow through on one a couple of years ago, and he helped with one situation, but we've got 3 traffickers, and it's all homeless people. They're coming to pick up the drugs and then they go distribute it. It's
I'm on her
huge.
street and I can vouch for that 100%. And I have other neighbors and we have a group chat going and it's insane. It's at an like, and it's not just her, it's not just me. There's houses like on the street. I have houses that are right around her house and they're
Yeah, and I'm just a block.
They're like, they're felons that have recovered, they're living a good life, they don't wanna get involved, but they've literally been like, you know what, it's just in our face constantly, and like, we don't wanna be involved in it, but because of their history, but they're like, it's at a point where there's just, it's nonstop, and they have reported, which I was kind of surprised by that, because we usually don't wanna get involved, but they're just like, it's too much, so.
Well, we have homeless pounding on our.
And there was a
windows in the
shooting.
middle of the night.
Yeah, there was like
And
actually.
on our porch, and then they broke into the back of our house, they go in our yard, just, they go in the alley. They're
Where do they get
everywhere, because they're picking up the drugs and then distributing them. So it's a network.
How
It's
close would we?
I live a block, I'm just off of 8th South, and on the half street from 9th West, so just behind 9th West. It's not a through street, but it's because we have these 3 locations. It's a drug lord who owns several properties in the city. We've addressed this. All we can come to the conclusion of, because no one ever does anything, is that there's somebody in the precinct that's complicit. And there is no
That's the only way that I can see.
that
I
this
reported,
can continue with us, people reporting, not just think we've had a shooting, we had 2 robberies in the last month.
We had a death on our street literally just like 3 weeks ago.
Oh, yeah, we've had 2 shootings at bullet holes in my house.
Do you know where the Chapman Library is?
Yeah.
Right here. It's over at the Chapman Library, and that's what we're talking about.
Yeah.
And it,
homes right there on
Yeah,
to the.
Not even
north
just
or
home,
south?
and they're doing it in the library.
Yeah, the laundromat, there's just lots of locations. They're
well,
just-
that's it. It's the laundromat. I mean, we track it. It's the laundromat.
Yeah.
And
Thanks.
then
I'm right across from Chapman and we've been tracking it all. Yeah, so we've been tracking it because I have,
call her the yoga girl. She doesn't do yoga.
I know who you're talking
She's
about.
like, she walks with a punch and I'm like, dude, that's not, she's in a yoga outfit every day, but she's not wearing.
Yeah.
But I even told the police that I talked to a detective, it's not Detective Oliver, but I've talked to, they're like, file this thing online and then you can do it anonymous. I'm like, I've done that. It was like, so they're like, well, we're having people watch them. Like, how long are you going to have them watch this? But now we have, I'm on a corner house, my neighbor's on a corner house. They're like, this is out of control. Her alley or her garage is facing the alleyway. I walked down the alleyway just in the broad daylight, just for fun. And there's a guy back there like, and he wasn't homeless. He's actually staying with the people at the duplex who are in fact skipping the house in the middle with the recovered felon people. And they go over to this, we call it the trap house. Okay? That's what my husband called it, the trap house. And they're all involved. And then this, this new guy that I've seen, he's just sitting in the back alleyway. Like, I don't know if he's got a needle in him, but he's just sitting back there, but he's involved with the duplex. And then you skip over and then they go down to the laundromat. Yoga girl goes over down 9th West.
May I
which is over towards Chapman.
Briefly interrupt you. What is your name?
Huh?
What's your name?
My name is Amber. I
Amber.
reported it a lot.
And
so-
your name?
Jan.
Jan. Okay. Let me respond to 2 things. Let me start with or end with the update on construction or streets. So I'll bring, from now on, I'll bring a document that we get from the engineering department and transportation about updates on specific streets, construction on that. I might have it on my laptop if I look it up, but from now on, I'll bring a sheet so that if you're asking me for a specific, if you're mentioning about 800 and it's on there, then I can tell you what the update is. We meet twice a month to get updates on that. Okay. Thank you, Amber, and sorry, your name again? Jan? Jan. And anyone else that shares your experiences in the neighborhood?
Rough.
I would like you to know that based on your feedback and also listening to other community councils and what's going on the west side and all of the, you know, folks experiencing homelessness and all that's happening. Just, you know, somewhat me stressing the stressors and the tension to my supervisor, because they meet with the mayor on a weekly basis on Friday. She requested that we, the outreach team, which is the one I'm part of, create a West Side Community Action Team. It's called West Side CAT. So this brings together different departments within the city so that we discuss how to address these dilemmas that you're talking about, because you know, Detective Oliver can't do it by himself, and we need to talk together, right? Because sometimes we find ourselves in silos. That's not productive. So as far as what you've shared and what others have shared in the past through via email, because I know that Jason has shared similar things with me via email. We're creating impact statements, so a document that, so for example, when you're speaking, I'm like, oh, that's a useful, critical impact statement that we are recording, or we started recording, starting in North Temple area. And bringing it to Westside Cat on a monthly basis. So I will take your name and contact information so we can talk, and I can write down your testimonies or your experiences and collect those so that we can start figuring out what action items need to happen, right? Or follow through or circle back to, because I'm sure, I will assume, I can't be sure, right? I will assume that things are under investigation, and I don't know what that process is like.
That's what they always say.
I would just interject. I
Yes.
apologize, but I
Yes.
have worked with Detective Oliver. I don't know the same experience Jan has had,
Yeah.
but I have worked with him in the past.
Yeah.
And I was going to meetings out on North Temple, like regularly, when you had a Wiener Schnitzel, when it was being,
Oh, yeah,
when it was, it's worth stating.
Yeah.
But he did address one of the drug houses that is still part of that whole thing, but I think he went and spoke to that person and everything quieted down after that. I think he went to that house, probably knocked on the door, had a talk with that person.
Yeah.
Things went on to quiet mode, and they were quiet for a long time, for like years.
Okay.
It quieted down, so it can happen. It just, I don't know where we're at in that process with how big it got.
so our office, so when I say our office, our team, community outreach team, is going out to businesses, for example, in North Temple, and putting pressure on specific businesses that are not in compliance or not contributing or are enabling, you know, nefarious things happening in the city or in that corner or in that quadrant, whatever. So when you tell me things like this, or, you know, we start hearing about more, even more about activities, you know, things are not changing, or it takes time to change. We created Westside Cat. So this happened 2 months ago, and we're just slowly building up our case. So then we start asking for updates, or so in terms of if there is a block of homes that is owned by one particular person and is contributing to the problem, then our office would go and talk to them and say, okay, so you're the owner of this property, and then start going through things that they're in violation, or try to get them to I'm just gonna say comply. So it's, we're starting to add, figuring out what ways we can add pressure. And so part of our team is the city, lawyer and his team. So I mean, there's folks that are hard hitters in our team. And so thank you for speaking up and thank you for sharing. I know that, I've been with the city for 2 years and there are things that don't change immediately that should be. Sometimes I am frustrated myself because, I don't know, just, it's a monster that just is slow at times and you can't make a change quickly, but you just have to like be on it. And I know
Well, it's just a
my
fact.
last question, my last comment is that the east side, they've also, not that I'm defending that, you know, I know that there's comparisons, but there was this gentleman where he's like, Alicia, so I said, how are you doing today? Like, what's the highlight? And he said, you know, something happened, a change happened on my street. And you know how long I've been waiting for this change to happen? I'm like, how many years? 10 years. I'm like, serious? Like, you've been on this case for 10 years with the city? Like, oh my God, I can't believe it. So it's disappointing, it's frustrating. I hear you. I work within the system and I'm like, oh my God. Sometimes not even I mean, I don't have any influence, just,
I'm sure his problem was minor.
Huh?
I'm sure his problem was minor.
I don't remember the case, but anyways, they were waiting for that
I've
time.
had 2 deaths next to my house
I mean,
in the last 2 years.
Well, yeah, if you compare, right?
From overdose.
It's apples and oranges.
Yellow, yeah.
It wasn't that, it was something else.
Someone investigate our precinct.
There is a formal, okay, so glad you brought that up because there is so I'll bring that up, bring that next time as well. There is a formal process for there to be an investigation within the police department. So you can file a complaint and there's a party outside of the city that does the investigation.
Is that the
So,
risk management,
I'm sorry,
the risk management?
no, it's something else.
Oh.
I'll bring that in a slide, maybe. Yeah, and I could also bring,
What if we just ask the sheriff to come do it? They can do that, right?
Sure.
They are the Solid County Sheriff. Overall has more authority. Why don't we just focus on Rosie and having her come and do it?
I've already.
Because I don't think,
I've already talked to Lucy.
I've heard these guys talk about this problem for years.
yeah,
When I had a problem, I freaked out, right?
Yeah.
Totally freaked out and said, I'm taking care of this.
Yeah.
I threatened everyone in that park and sent them packing one day. That was it. If I was living on that street, I would have already raised an army. I don't see this stuff. I live over there, but what I did see was enough. Fentanyl pills in the park, not doing it. So I sent them, they had to go. I told the city I would start my own police force. I may or may not decide whether I want to obey any laws. Because you're not doing it. The city doesn't care about us. That's it. That's how I feel about it. We are on our own.
Yeah.
It's frustrating to hear, and I understand it's not your purview. You're not in law enforcement. But we have a new head cop. He doesn't, I can't blame it on him because he doesn't know the history. But this is a long time. It's a long time for them to have to deal with that. And when someone dies in the neighborhood,
Yeah.
it's, these ODs, whatever, whoever, however they die, but when someone dies after a burglary or
Yeah.
gets shot or something, maybe somebody will do something.
Yeah.
But it shouldn't be necessary. No one
Right.
should have to do that.
Right.
So I don't understand why we can't take care of the problem.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous. No one should have to do this.
Thank you.
And
The lead nuts off.
Now we're gonna-
So,
let's move on to the. next-
okay, but this is important though, your last comment about what if the chief comes, why doesn't he come to respond, okay, good point. Did you know, and maybe I can send you the flyers so you can post on your website. Did you know that the chief, the police department is having, I think, quarterly meetings where the chief is showing up?
Yep.
And their meetings are happening at the Sorensen Center.
And nobody goes.
Okay,
I didn't know this.
okay.
Nobody goes.
So now that you know, and I will send the flyer to you all because I'm not able to attend for whatever reason. Anyways, doesn't matter. But next quarter, when the PD has the community event, please go, because that's where you get the opportunity to engage and ask questions with the chief. Okay?
And just as a reminder, with this West Side City Council meeting that's coming up in
Oh, yeah.
October, I told you guys.
True.
Literally, if you can just write a statement, 2 minutes, and you just like
Yeah.
make sure that you go back to back, you can even write an essay. And you guys can,
Bless you.
It's called Alejandro, I have his cell phone. Boom, like that's where I'm at. Like,
I mean,
mean,
I've called them all. I've had basically, I mean, I've had some gill in my phone. That's how much I've like reached, that's how far up the tree it's gone. And my problem did get solved. Like if you guys would have heard me 2 years ago, it was rough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right now, it's starting to get back up again and it's
Okay.
awful, right? Then we had that debt, but there's been police raids up on 9th West where I've seen them like raiding different houses and clearing people out.
This is perfect.
Yes,
Yeah.
so,
Yeah.
and that, like, the only thing I can tell you guys is just keep pestering, right? Just, you
Yeah.
gotta be, and no offense, Karen, but you gotta be a
Yeah.
Karen, right? You just gotta like, I gotta talk to your manager, I gotta talk to your manager, I just gotta keep doing it.
But Jan and I were the only ones that showed up to that meeting, and everyone's probably not very happy about it, but we were having like these race rallies down the streets on 700 South, on Jeremy Street, and on 600 South where you live. They were racing, they were going up and around and racing, like drag racing on our freaking street.
I know exactly who it is.
So we went and was like, these islands, and well, a couple of our neighbors don't like them.
I know,
Didn't
I've
really
heard.
love the, what did they put those speed bumps in on our street, on Jeremy Street? All fine and great until last Saturday, and now there's, you know, the new kid thing is it's like popping wheelies on your motorcycle. Have you seen that around town?
Yeah.
Now they're using those speed, well, they were, and my neighbor that doesn't get involved, she lives on the corner from me. She comes out and she was freaking out, and I'm like, yeah. She's like, I'm gonna chase them. I'm like, you're not gonna chase them back. We were yelling at them, they did not come back. She stood out there to see if they came back. And I'm
Well-
like, she has a lot of cats she doesn't want.
Thank you for your
I mean,
comments.
whatever,
Yeah.
but I mean, it takes stuff like that to get involved, but I mean, yeah, we have these. Yeah, and I had
So-
a neighbor tell me, he's like, well, thanks for the islands, it does slow things down. He's like, but I ended up getting hit by a bus because I was backing out and I forgot that the islands are sitting there.
So Amber, if you have more information to provide to me, you can always visit me this Saturday. I do want to give the opportunity, I want to give back my time to the floor for others to also participate, and maybe you have other topics happening. Yes,
I'm curious about something. I'm gonna come over here so I can hear better.
okay.
So I'm curious who's in charge of immigration and the
With the
homeless problem in the city.
Homeless,
Because-
immigration?
Yeah,
no
because
department.
what I'm seeing, there's been 2 executive orders signed
Uh-huh,
back, the last one back in July 24th.
yeah,
Concerning that there was gonna be changes about what's going on with immigration in Salt Lake City
Okay.
and the rest of the country.
yeah,
And with what's going on with the homeless.
okay,
And I've talked to various people about these what's supposed to be happening,
Mhm.
including on the state level.
Yeah.
With the guy that's been appointed over homelessness.
Yeah.
And I see Salt Lake still more as a city of refuge for immigration.
okay,
I don't see that a whole lot's being done. I see that the federal government's getting ready to say that there's a national emergency
okay,
because we have cities that aren't willing to cooperate.
uh-huh,
And so like when I go past the park, they're adjacent, well, it's in parallel of Indiana
Mhm.
and just below, just west of Smith's.
okay.
There's a whole group of people in there that are illegal.
How
I
And they're
believe that.
smoking
How
drugs
How do you know they're
How do you
illegal?
know that?
Did
and
you
they're
ask
doing
them? Did you
things
ask for
that
their
they're-
immigration status?
illegal activities
So-
going on in there along the trail. And there's bicycles that are probably stolen and there's,
Know that.
and they're homeless and they're people that I've seen for 15 years. And one of them I know personally that's from Guatemala, and it's been there for 15 years.
And the drug dealer
Then
next to
the
my house is
city's doing-
Caucasian, so
So
And
what
the
is-
city's
this could
doing
easily
that
turn
for
into
others.
a race problem.
My
It's not.
question is, who do we contact or who's responsible for this at the city level?
Okay. So we need to be careful, we at the city are careful with terminology. We do not use the term illegal because no human is illegal.
Thank you.
There are borders are created and it's a what is it? It's socially constructed in terms of having borders, who's legal, illegal, okay? So we don't use that terminology at the city. We are a welcoming city. There is no one in the city that is oversees immigration because that's not something that we oversee. That's more of a federal circumstance or a federal undertaking. It's not the city, the local. If there's crime happening or if there's injustices happening on the streets for whatever reason, then that would be, the police department. So
You think
so
that,
so I know that you emailed me about these mandates or the executive orders and what's happening, and I did respond to you. Those executive orders are supposedly providing funds for states and local government to implement in the city, but nothing's moved forward. It's just an executive order.
on the state level,
So who do you contact on the state level for that?
he's working on
So have you
the
contacted him?
shelters, yes. He's working on the shelter problem. I spoke with Commander Clough,
Okay,
and he's supposed to be working on the enforcement level.
okay,
There's a level where they've wanted to build a civil facility that they can take people involuntarily using drugs and put them into a facility. They're supposed to, that's still in the works, but that's supposed to be happening.
okay. So I recommend that you go to the quarterly meetings with PD. If you want to continue a conversation with Commander Clough. Let's see, where
And
else?
can you send me some information on when those meetings are?
Yeah, I'm gonna give it to city council so they can post it online. But yes,
So let me just see if I understand you correctly. I would be better off communicating with Commander Clough over Pioneer Precinct.
well, you've started the conversation already, right? So I think you can continue it or finish it with him. Cause I have no idea what you spoke to him or what he responded. So,
Well,
Also,
they're
he's
gonna be
community
under they're gonna be over the enforcement part of what they're trying to do. Obviously, they've been working on the trail.
okay,
It seems like that there was a lot of work done on the Rio, when it was the Rio Grande where the highway patrol come in and helped with that project.
okay, well.
But they fell a little bit short on the trail.
Okay, well, let's go back to your question on who oversees immigration in the city, and there's no one that does that in the city. We're not involved with immigration,
So
we
you're not
don't,
involved, so that's totally a federal level.
federal situation, we are not engaging with ICE, we are not in partnership with ICE. So
Well,
that-
thanks for clarifying that because nobody's really explained. When I look at the news, they say that the city is gonna lose funding if they don't start enforcing immigration.
Mm.
That's what I hear.
Well,
And that's.
we're a red state, so we'll be fine, and we're gonna move on now, because they're just getting
Okay.
late. I'm sick and we need to move on from this. I know. Anyway, who is up next?
Now for something completely different.
Come on down, Todd.
Got back to follow.
No, I think it'll be easy.
Thank you for having me and thank you for showing up and involved with these things. Community engagement is very important to what we do. So to see you're all interested in showing means a lot to us, but before I get to why we're here, this project, I am the CEO of the Community Development Corporation of Utah, or CDCU. Or CDC Utah, which we get a lot of calls for Center for Disease Control. We're not that. CDCU is kind of an affordable housing solution. We've been around since 1990. We focus on three pillars, folks with financial security, we help with housing stability and provide access to affordable housing. So really quick, our financial stability pillar is really focused on helping people with budget credit, you want to get pre-purchasing, housing counseling. Unfortunately, mortgage prevention, foreclosure prevention is a hot topic, and we have a lot of that going on. So we'll help with any of your financial needs. It's free counseling services. Then our housing stability, that provides some funding for some of the programs we have. So we do emergency rental assistance, we have down payment assistance, we have mortgage assistance. All of these come with counseling as well. And finally, we provide access to affordable housing via building some projects. Wanted to tell you about a couple programs that we had worked with the city on. The RDA, or now the CRA, has given us funding to provide accessory dwelling unit financing for the west side, solely for the west side. So if you have an interest in building an ADU, we have some attractive financing. The city wants to help get some of those built on the west side. So that's a program we have specifically for, again, just city vote on the west side. Also citywide, we have a down payment assistance loan where we can access, we can help people get into homes for a silent second mortgage up to $120,000, $150,000 loan that you wouldn't have to pay anything on until you sell or refinance. So again, trying to encourage people to battle this crazy market that we're in for housing. So then the third thing we do is this access to affordable housing. We've been acquiring and rehabbing single family homes. We develop single family homes. We develop townhomes. And about 8 years ago, we started getting into apartments, trying to get affordable apartments. So we all know apartments are all the rage. Here we are to present a project that we'd like to do in the North Temple corridor. And we were asked by the community council just to come present this project. We're going through the process right now. There may or may not be someone from the city online that talks about, you know, the technicalities of where we are with the design review, but I'm here to just tell you about Emerald Avenue Apartments. So the next slide. Pardon?
Where's this at?
Right there,
There we go.
right there.
We're on 8th West between North Temple and South Temple. And if you go to the next slide, it's kind of a bigger map and everyone can get an idea. Around about South Temple, North Temple, right in the middle. Emerald Avenue is this little alley that's getting developed like crazy.
So you're between North Temple and South Temple?
North Temple, South Temple on 8th West. So, oops, sorry,
Yeah.
Folsom City, Folsom Trail.
Where's the fairgrounds?
Fairgrounds is right, just the next block up here on North Temple, South Temple.
Oh,
Red
okay, I
Iguana.
see it.
If you know our ways, we're right, as a crow flies, we're the center of all the red iguanas. That's easy. Just run to the next slide, and just quick developments are, you know, the address is right on 8th West, Emerald Avenue. There's a zone change that happened in that area that just happened recently. We're gonna develop under the old zone, the TSA. It's about 3/4 of an acre. We're doing this with tax credits and, you know, that's just very complicated how we can develop affordable housing. Anyone that's nerded out on that stuff, this is a 4% bond. We're looking at 140 units on 7 floors, 40 parking stalls.
Did you just say 140?
140 units. And I'll go through the breakdown. There's an outdoor amenity deck, like you see. We're big on our community space. Our organization will come and help folks, you know, with any financial issues, help you thrive. Maybe one day you want to buy a home. We work with your budget and credit. You're having a tough time paying rent, you lose your job. We have folks that can try to help you with your financial issues. We also have community space for community people to come and have a meeting there or whatnot and try to engage the whole community in our space. That's very important to our organization. Go on to the next slide. I put as many numbers on here as I possibly could to confuse everybody, but at 140 units, the one thing I wanted to point out, the mix, we all want family size units. We're able to get more than half of them are 2-bedroom and 3-bedroom, still have just under a half, 1-bedroom units, there are 21 3-bedroom units. These are just the breakdown of, you know, these are based on income. Restricted units, so most of them are at this area median income. This is what the rent would be for a 1-bedroom, 2-bedroom, 3-bedroom. You see they range all the way from $639 to $2,170. And you go to the next slide. Finally, a pretty picture. This is the corner of, this is right on 8th West, Emerald Avenue. If you know, there's another building, 7-story building that's just about done. Right next door to it, the corner, there's another vacant space, then another apartment is due to go up there. This is the view down Emerald Avenue alley. Little amenity space just off that alleyway. First floor is where all the parking is, have some units wrapped around, so you don't see any parking. You go to the second floor. This is actually the 3rd level, an amenity deck, some playground equipment, outdoor space for the folks, and then our indoor communal space. Sorry. There, then the rest of the floor look like this going up, donut hole. We can, this elevation.
Is this open? I mean, is this
That'll be
like
open all the way,
open kind of thing?
yep, all the way down to that amenity space. You know, there's, the elevation looks like there's room for a mural along 8th South. This is. And the last slide is really just different views of how that.
Are you guys the same people that did the one?
So-
in Vermont?
No,
Like,
which,
it's just the architecture looks identical.
Oh.
Yeah, over by the library.
oh yeah, funny you say that. No, our architect on the previous project was the architect there, Blaylock.
Okay,
And these guys are actually from
So
Denver.
are you still, can you take a question now?
I just rambled on. No questions. Goodbye. No, of course, any
So
questions?
my concern is parking.
Yes.
I realize that the city is really trying to push in these transit area zones, less parking being made available. But that doesn't mean that people in Salt Lake City don't own cars. And so you had what, 67 parking stalls to 140 apartments? And I don't know, I just think that that's pretty crazy. I grew up in that area and I just don't even know where people are gonna park. I mean, you look where Red Iguana is now and how crazy it is.
Yeah.
Trying to even find, for residents to find a parking spot in that area along 600 West. And so I don't know, I just think that that's craziness.
I understand, I hear you, and I know as an operator of these projects, we have one up in the Brickyard area that we built, that we could have built a lot less parking, but the market, like you said, everyone has cars, and that is a big challenge. That's our number one concern with this property. Of course, the city, we could build it with, I don't think the city requires any parking when you're this close to transit, when you're this, you know.
Well,
But you look on the street, you look around the neighborhoods, the Bodie, the bridges down the street, it's just wall to wall cars and your crime,
I
all of
mean,
that,
I
so.
don't know where you live, but the impact of all these apartments going in this area are so evident right now in our neighborhood that it's crazy.
And what's coming, yeah,
And who do you see moving into those places? Are you, I mean, are you expecting single people, people with kids, students? I mean,
we
It
talk
is-
about
it's-
workforce housing, we talk about family housing, we have 2 and 3 bedroom units, we have playground, we're designing it for families, and to have a family that doesn't have a car,
oh, good luck with that.
yeah, I hear you.
And also, it just blows my mind that we need this much housing. I mean, yes, we need housing, but is this really the type of housing we need? I mean, I would like to know, I don't even know how to find this out. How do we find what the true occupancy is of all these new apartment buildings that are already existing?
And
Is
we
it
have,
80%? Is it 60%? Is it 40%?
it's just starting to cap, but for a long, long time, we have to do market studies for just that in order to get financing. And they've been over 95% for a long time. It's just starting to.
What's 95%?
Occupancy. They're,
I do not believe that.
I don't.
like, there's a lease up issue, you have to take a long time lease. I'm just saying
I've been
that
to
that's what the
three-
report does.
I have been to three buildings in this year, 20% occupancy. Right? You wanna know which ones they are? So, yeah, I don't believe it at all. I was doing a project downtown where we were flying at night through the city. And there were buildings lit up that we could see in, they were just empty. There weren't people in the buildings. Just, it's not true. No, it's just not true. And we're getting pitched this missing middle in these big buildings here and
Well,
it- this is a builder's paradise. That's what's going on.
as you see with the ballpark potential or the Miller thing,
Oh, yeah, it's gonna be
that's gonna be huge.
But why aren't we? Parking is a big thing. No, you know, as much as everyone wants to have everyone on bicycles, this is not Holland. So,
You have a question in the back?
I have actually two questions. Is there an advantage to having rental versus ownership in these
Big
apartments?
question.
And the other one is, who is the beneficiary? In other words, who's collecting the money on that, and where does the money go for all of the rental money that comes in? Does that go to the city? Does that go to a entrepreneur, a landowner that's building these things? I mean, you said that you're building these with grants. Is that money going back to replace grants so that other grants can be issued for more? How is that distribution working?
Well, first of all, the difference between ownership and so we're trying to get a push to have more condominiums and try to get those built. For what we're trying to do, we build the affordable housing through this, what I call the tax credit program, and it is very prescriptive about how you can build it, what you would build, and it relies on tax credits to get the equity. So it's a 4% deal. We're gonna have 40% of our equity taken care of through this tax credit program. So, but it is extremely prescriptive right down to what rents you can charge and maximize rents. And to your point of who runs it afterwards, we will be the operator. I mean, we hire a third-party manager, but we're the developer. We own that. We'll be part of that community. So we'll take the rents. And
Does it go into a fund, or does it go into your pocket, or what?
Are you like a non-for-profit or?
yeah, we're a not-for-profit, and the way that these deals are done, they're very razor thin in that the rents just cover your mortgage. It's not a windfall per se. So we're in it to provide the housing, make sure we got enough to cover all of our costs. And then, you know, and then we have to keep it affordable for 55 years. And then at that point, we could go sell it to the open market. But for our mission, we would say, oh, let's do it again. So that's, again, specific to this particular product versus a market rate product, we could do whatever they want.
but 70% AMI. Didn't it say 70% AMI for
Yeah.
a portion? So that's not affordable.
I mean,
Yeah, it's depending on some that we're getting close to market rate. And we will, yeah. But we will be, you know, again, because of the tax credits and what we're trying to accomplish here, that you would reduce that 70% AMI to what market rate is, so they'll all be less than market rate.
well, but one solution to the whole parking thing is for Salt Lake City, UTA, UDOT, whoever, to really buff up the mass transit. I mean, I think UTA does a terrible job of getting people from the west side to where they need to be.
Absolutely.
You know,
This,
like
we're lucky
I
to
work
be next to
west of
tracks,
the
but if you
airport, it takes me 10 minutes to get there. If I took the bus, it'd take me an hour and a half.
But I have a question. So back to the affordability of everything, right? Got 140 units. I don't know, 62 lots for parking. I'm assuming then you're gonna be charging for parking because not everybody's gonna have access to parking.
No,
Or do like certain only units get parking while other units don't get parking?
we can't charge for parking. It's gonna be, unfortunately, first come, first serve, and there's, you got into one of the stalls.
So does that mean if somebody moves in with a family of, say, 4 moves into a 3-bedroom apartment and they have 2 cars, they can take 2 parking spots?
That's a good question.
You're
But
gonna
no,
have
I mean,
a
think about it.
revolt on your hands.
We can't charge for parking. Everyone would have to have a parking pass, and that's a good question on, how many cars you would allow your family to have. I hear you, and I appreciate
Also.
parking is. is a challenge
Also
for
that
all.
100%. Like, why are you gonna?
That's completely irrelevant. What's the point of having a parking pass that you have to have if there is no possible to guarantee you're even gonna have a parking space to park it in?
Yeah.
That is completely irrelevant to even do that.
Right. I'm saying we're not charging for parking. It's not a premium. Way we have, 140 residents can park in this unit.
So I'm not sure I understood the initial discussion about parking. Does the city limit how many units you can put in as part of the clean air
They-
policy or something? Or like, it
They
sounds like your hands are
encourage,
tied.
there's points to work when you're working in this zone. That if you can have reduced parking, which encourages people to
Okay.
ride transit, to not have cars, which that's hoping everyone's riding a bike to haul, and that's hoping, but you're encouraged to have 0.25 to 1.
Okay. We were like one block
Um,
away from tracks, right? I
it's-
mean, and that's a free, is that a free zone right there?
No.
Or it's not, it's the.
Well, we would provide our residents looking at a program where residents can have a pass. We'll work with UTA, work with the city. City has programs for working with landlords to help.
I'd
get
live
some
there, it's close
passes.
enough to tracks, but that's the bus system.
And it was easy.
Sorry, you're taking it on the chin for our
Oh,
frustration.
that's okay.
I mean, it's just
Yeah, I hear you.
one thing after the other,
Yeah.
but, and this is a building that has more 3-bedroom and 2-bedroom places than the vast majority of all of them built.
Yep.
So bravo. But grandma's not gonna be able to come and visit, right? Because there's nowhere to park. So those things, no one's thinking about this stuff.
They want grandma to take public transit.
Yeah.
Well, let me send grandma.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's a frustration. I think that us as a community, we can advocate for saying, stop subsidizing this stuff. It's not working for us.
Yeah. Stop subsidizing the,
Building,
Not building.
stop building
building.
these things, stop
Yeah.
the subsidy. You're taking our tax dollars and well, I know you're not, but
Yeah.
I'm just saying, we're applying our money to help builders build things that we don't want.
Right.
Right?
yeah,
That's what
there are no subsidies, there's no subsidies going into this.
grant money comes from,
Well, it's all loan money.
From the
We
city.
pay back,
so it's loan, not a grant.
correct. And the city, we haven't received it yet. We'd like to get, there's a little portion, $2 million from the
Okay.
city.
That's different
We'll
than a
pay
grant.
that back.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Okay, because you said grant earlier.
I'm sorry,
Yeah, well.
when we work for
okay.
the city, there's a
So
lot of
that-
grants you have to pay back. It's kind of,
So does the city even have a program for like lower density housing, like townhomes or 4plexes or 8plexes where this whole subsidy
Yeah.
thing could apply?
unfortunately, with the way the market is, and I've been at this for 10 years, and this lot 10 years ago would be for nothing. And right now, this lot, the price of land is so high that in order to make it quote pencil, you need to put 140 units on it just to try to cover the cost of the land. Same goes with park. I'd love to go down one level, but now we're high groundwater there, and now at the expense of going just down a level for parking, just throws it all out. If I would have bought the land 10 years ago, I'm like, oh, wow, I got room to build some parking levels down below.
You realize we're not against affordable housing.
No, but I
We're just
appreciate
against-
North Temple corridor has transitioned, maybe not a lot of ways you want to see it, like this, oh, if we build tracks, you start building housing, eyes on the street. I go down 8th West.
I'm assuming you can't increase the rent either for a certain period of time.
No,
So like when the power district is done getting built up, like you're not just gonna jack up rent
No,
for people
but
that live in
again,
that
this
area.
program has to be 55 years, has to follow these guidelines that will always be affordable rent.
Alright, cool.
It's,
On the positive side, I'm sorry.
Thank you.
guys, this kind of thing happens everywhere in the world, and so, I mean, this is not strange or new, or, whatever. But the cool thing about, that building, if you will, is that it does have a center core.
That is pretty cool.
There's nothing in the middle. It's classic, like I was telling Diego, it's classic European or South American approach where the sidewalk butts right against the wall of the building, basically.
Yeah.
And you're looking up 7 floors, I guess. But the nice thing is with that center, we call it a court, that center court, it allows light and everything else to come in from multiple sides into these apartments. And so that really makes a huge difference for the occupants in those dwellings, having that extra light and access to a balcony or something on one side or the other. So that, so they can grow the little house plant or whatever. And so, anyway, I thought that I like that part of it. The rest is just the same old,
it's,
the same old gobbledygook.
again, we're not the developer, it's like, you have to come in here, get your blessing, and then we're out of here. This community engagement is very important to us, and we would encourage all along the way, if anyone has any questions, you wanna talk about it, our board has community representatives on it that go through the design and what it feels like to live here. Every single one of them has said parking is gonna be an issue. So, it's like, how do we? So again, we wanna continue this process, hear from you anytime, and again, all our services at CDCU, anytime you need to reach out.
Thank you.
Thanks for the time.
Hey, thanks.
Thank you.
All right. That's good.
Well, hope I won't rile anybody up. It's been kind of a spicy night tonight, I feel
What
like.
happens when you put me in charge?
But there's lots of new faces here, so I just want to reintroduce myself. I'm Isabel, our community engagement coordinator here at Neighborhood House. So I'm over all of our partnerships and volunteers, so if you ever want to volunteer, let me know. But I don't know how many of you are familiar with Neighborhood House, but we are affordable child and adult daycare services, and we run on a sliding scale fee so that our families don't have to compromise the care of their loved one based on their ability to pay. So we've been serving your guys' community since 1894, which is pretty cool. It's 2 years before Utah became a state, which I love. And then our clients range from 15 months old, and our oldest right now just turned 99. So really cool that we're all under one roof. So if you guys ever want to get involved with us, just let me know.
Awesome, thank you.
Any community comments?
No, I think we're good. I'm gonna executive order that. Now we're good. Other than that, our next meeting is October 22nd. We have, don't forget, the Groove in the Grove this Saturday from 11 to 3.
Find Daniel at the group on Saturday.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Hit him up then.
yeah.
exactly.
We
And then
encourage you to go to the October 7th meeting at Sorenson with the city council too.
please attend the October 7th, city council meeting for the West Side. And please, preemptively prepare for what you're gonna write. If you want to leave a comment, to make a comment to the city council, because it is,
Look that day, they're feeding you.
Yeah, and there will be dinner. Don't forget. So you can show up early. There's an hour for dinner, and then you go into the meeting.
What about the meeting before?
So I don't know for work, how does the working meeting, can the public attend that?
No, well, the
No.
working meeting, the public can attend, but you can't make
That's
comments.
right.
Yeah.
Oh,
It's just
okay,
a
so the
listening
big
meeting.
meeting is 7.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm not sure on the agenda, that's gonna go over zoning things and. Yeah, so if there's scheduled. That's not open.
And then really, the last comment is if all the board members could just hang back, we're gonna discuss some stuff. That's it. Don't forget some food. Empanadas. Oh, thank you guys for coming.
All right, thank you.
Wow.